sometimes it takes seeing other people to be brave for you to be brave. Hello, how are you? I hope that you're very, very well. My name's Amy, in case you don't know. I never introduced myself, but here we are. So I am just sat in the lounge in my pajamas thinking I should talk about some of the women who inspire me in theatre. I feel like I often talk about the men in theatre because, you know, I love a man belting his face off. I like it a lot. I don't feel like maybe I share enough love for the ladies in theatre. So today, these are all the women who are in the theatre world who inspire me for various reasons. They are all performers. There's a mixture of people from the UK and the US. Unfortunately, I don't know as many people from the rest of the world. So, you know, if you guys are inspired by people, please leave them down in the comments below so that I can find out about them and kind of broaden my horizons. So yeah, I hope that you listen to these women and find out about them if you don't already know, and go and support them. And yeah, let's jump into it. Okay, so I'm going to start with Eva Noblezada. I'm sure that you know her. She is in Hadestown at the moment on Broadway. She has been in Les Mis, and she famously was Kim in the production of Miss Saigon that started in London and then went over to Broadway. She was Tony nominated for it. She's an incredible performer. Like, she's got such an incredible voice. It blows me away. But the thing that really inspires me about Eva is she's quite a young girl who at age 17 was taken over to a different country and put into a show, and she often talks about her experience with Miss Saigon and experience kind of being thrust into the professional world, you know, at such a young age and in such a huge high profile role. And she often talks about the struggles that she had with eating disorders and mental health and the way people treated her. And I think it's amazing to see somebody who isn't afraid to speak out about the way that she's been treated badly in the business. And I think the more young people see other performers and other people speaking out, they're gonna feel stronger to do the same. And I think that's amazing. She often talks about mental health. She seems very, very down to earth. She seems very grateful for where she is. I think she's a really well-rounded person who is a great inspiration to a lot of young people in theatre, and I think she's great. So Eva Noblezada gets a big old thumbs up from me. Stephanie J. Block is somebody who I find incredibly inspiring. She talks about how it took her like 10 years, she said, to get to Broadway after starting out performing. And you think, Stephanie J. Block, she's been on Broadway forever. But it's helpful for people to see that somebody who is a Tony Award winner, absolute top of their game, has also struggled, and it's also taken time for them as well. And I think that's really inspiring. And then she does such a wide variety of roles. Like, she's played things like playing Judy in 9 to 5. She's played the title role in The Pirate Queen. She played Liza Minnelli at some point and Cher. And I just think that she's an incredible person, and she also is a mum, and she very much shows how a woman in theatre can be a mother as well, and it doesn't hinder their career. Because a lot of women think, if I get pregnant, I'm not going to be cast for the full 9 months that I'm pregnant, and then when I have a baby, everyone's going to be like, well, I don't want to cast you because you've got a baby and they're high maintenance. But Stephanie J. Block very much shows that you can be a mum in the theatre, and with a support system, with speaking to producers about the times that you're at the theatre and those kinds of things, and helping with childcare and things. The more people who do that, the more people feel able to be performers and also have a normal life as well. Stephanie J. Block is great. And all of these people, obviously, I love them because they're talented. I love them because of what they stand for and what they do. So next, I wanted to talk about Charlotte Giaconelli, who has been in Heathers. She was also on Britain's Got Talent with a guy called Jonathan. I don't know if you remember, they sang opera. She's just graduated and she's like solidly worked. So she went straight into Heathers, and then she did Sweet Charity, and now she's in The Boy in the Dress, which I'm going to see this month. I'm very excited. She is very vocal about being a bit of a bigger girl in theatre and really not letting that stand in her way. Obviously, she's got a great agent who pushes her for things. You know, it's difficult to get in the room for some things that aren't in the category of like must be played by a big girl. So sometimes if a character, their weight isn't described, but they've always been played by slimmer women, then it's very hard for a bigger girl to be seen for those kinds of things. So she's clearly got a great agent, but she also is very vocal about it on social media, which I think is so important. There are so many young people who are wanting to go into theatre, and for them to see somebody who is working consistently, somebody who looks like them, being successful and talking about, you know, breaking down barriers, and I think that's really inspiring. Celine Maher, right. I think that I'm saying her name right, but I heard her recently and she said her name differently and I was like, eh? So anyway, Celine, who's been in The Light in the Piazza, Les Mis, Phantom, Barnum. She's an incredibly talented woman. Like, her voice is just insane. I think she's such an inspiring person because she speaks a lot about kind of activism and charity work and things on her social media. She also shows like a lot of variety on her social media. She shows herself doing like DIY stuff and writing music and traveling and just such a wide amount of things, and showing that yes, theatre can be a huge part of your life. It's your career, it's your passion, but you can also have other interests. And I think again, for young people to see people who they admire or people in the positions that they want to be in, you know, having lots of different hobbies and being interested in lots of different things, I think is really important. Because I know when I was younger I was like, well, I have to only love theatre because that is my thing. And, you know, if I'm not 100% focused, it won't happen for me. You know, it goes to show that you should have different interests and you should broaden your mind. Yeah, Celine's great. Speaking of Celine, also Carrie Fletcher. I'm sure you all know who she is. I mean, I'm sure you know who all of these people are. I am really inspired by Carrie with the amount of charity work that she does. She has a big audience, she has a big platform. She is always raising money for charity, and whether that's doing charity runs or doing Instagram charity money raising things. I think she's very inspiring, and I think to use your platform of hundreds of thousands of people to raise money for charities is amazing. I'm very inspired by that, and I think that people who are in a position to help others actually using that position to help others is great, because there's a lot of people who don't. And I'm not saying that everybody should, but I'm saying I think it's great that she does. She's also an incredibly hard worker. Like, that woman has got her hand in so many pies. She's always doing something. She does lots of arts and crafts. She's always writing books. She's always doing concerts. She's always in shows. She is working hard. I think that's very inspiring for young people to see. So I keep being like, this is inspiring for young people. It's inspiring for me, and I'm not a young person. I'm an old lady. Okay, Leslie Kritzer, who's currently playing Delia in Beetlejuice, I think is incredible. She did a Broadway.com vlog series, and each week she showed a real variety of people in the theatre world. She went back to her old high school and talked about her experience in high school drama, and she spoke to a member of the trans community who is currently working in the sound department of the show, and I just think she really took her moment to show amazing representation in the theatre community for trans people, for young people who are starting out, for a really wide variety of people. And I thought every episode, God, I wish I'd seen that when I was younger. Every single episode. It was a really like down to earth series. She wasn't just like, this is me doing the show, let's do a Q&A. It was like, how can I use this platform at this moment that I have it to really spread some positivity for young people in theatre? And I thought, what a legend. She was fantastic. She was like, yeah, I'm on Broadway, but I also did a self-tape today. And do you know what? Yeah, I'm on Broadway, but sometimes it's really hard and sometimes I just want to go to bed. I feel like that's really important for people to see, because I know when I was younger, I just thought, hello, Amy speaking. Yeah, I think it's very important for people who are in those positions, who are in those aspirational roles and aspirational careers, to say, do you know what, actually it's really hard sometimes. And I think it kind of just brings it all back down to earth, and I think that's great. So my next woman in theatre who inspires me is Richard Noel, who is currently playing Catherine of Aragon in Six on the West End. Every morning on Twitter, she shares like really positive posts and things. She's, again, very open about struggles as a performer, and I am really inspired by her Twitter account. You know, some people you just think, I really enjoy seeing your Twitter every day. I think she's great. She's in a great show. She's a talented queen. I'm inspired by her. I actually don't know that much about her, so I can't kind of expand on that, but I enjoy her Twitter and her positive affirmations. My name is Catherine of Aragon. Another person who I think is very inspiring is Rachel Zegler, who has just finished filming West Side Story Revival with Steven Spielberg playing Maria. And she's like 17 or 18, and you just think, wow, can you even imagine? So I actually started watching her maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago on YouTube. So before she was like the famous star she is now, and the film hasn't even come out yet. But she was on YouTube and she's posted amazing covers and she has an like incredible voice, and that alone is great. But something I really admire is that she is very vocal on social media about really important issues. She very much isn't afraid to say how she feels, and I think to have somebody who is that young, I mean, she literally like just graduated from high school, and to have somebody who is so well spoken and so strong in their opinions and so willing to stand up for themselves is amazing. I'm inspired by her. I'm sure so many young people are, and the more we have people who are confident in their beliefs and standing up for what's right, the more people will. Sometimes it takes seeing other people to be brave for you to be brave. She's got a great relationship with her audience. She's really active on social media. I think it's actually really important to see, because we look at celebrities and you think, oh my god, look at your life, like you must have the most incredible life ever, and it's kind of breaking down those barriers. Again, there's definitely a running theme here. Somebody else who inspires me is Ali Stroker. She is known for being on the Glee project. She was in Spring Awakening, Deaf West production, and she also won her first Tony this year for playing Ado Annie in Oklahoma. She is a wheelchair user. She's amazing. There are a lot of people who have disabilities or who aren't fully able-bodied, and they will have seen people on Broadway and on TV and thought, well, unless there's a character that's written as a wheelchair user, then I will never be on the stage. And Ali Stroker was like, that's annoying. I want to be on Broadway. I'm gonna be on Broadway. She made a name for herself. She is tirelessly ambitious and vocal about the need and support of disabled people in the theatre and disabled actors, and she makes it a more inclusive place, and she is spearheading it. She's making so many people think, there's chance for me too, and letting people not give up. Because the thing is that she could have said, well, you know, I'm in this chair and what's the point in going to singing class because I'm never gonna make it. And she was like, no, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna be great at my craft, and I'm gonna be a success. And she is, and I think that is incredible. It's so inspiring, because you think, my god, you have overcome so much, I can overcome this small thing as well. And I just think she's a great person. She's incredible. Somebody else who inspires me is Jody Steel. So Jody Steel is very well known from Heathers. I've seen her in a lot of stuff before, like Bear, in lots of concerts and things. She's got an incredible voice, like insanely talented. Something that I'm really inspired by with Jody is her work ethic is so inspiring. She like never stops. So she finished Heathers, went straight into the Rock of Ages tour, and while she's doing that tour, she's also working out at the gym every day. She is going and teaching workshops. She's doing concerts. She's working on other things. Like, the woman just never stops, and I think that is so inspiring, and it makes people want to up their game and think, I should work a little harder. What would Jody Steel do? She's inspiring. Somebody else who really inspires me is Izzie Makalah. She played Alyssa in The Prom, and she's so supportive of people. Her support is incredible. She is always lifting people up. She's such a ray of light in the theatre community. She is just wonderful. I think she's fab. Yeah. So yeah, they're just some women who inspire me in theatre. I would be interested to know who inspires you. Are any of the women that I shared new to you? I hope that you go and research them and find out more about them. Incredible, incredible women. And please, please, please share down below who inspires you and why, so we can all spread a little bit more love. I was saying yesterday on my Instagram, I feel a little bit like in a rut at the moment. I don't feel super positive all the time. And do you know what? If I can spread a little bit of happiness today and a little bit of love, then maybe it will come back to me. Not saying like I want people to say it back to me. I mean the world, you know, positive, putting out, getting it back. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Am I digging a hole? Yes, I am. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again soon. Bye!